The American Southwest, home to 4 major deserts and best known for its dramatic landscape carved by rain and wind over millions of years. The Utah Desert is arguably one of Mother Nature's greatest art projects. Today, Utah is a famous destination for outdoor enthusiasts. But if you turn the clock back 800 to 1200 years ago, deep in the canyons, people lived here. They settled high in the canyon walls, built their homes, grew their food, hunted the land, created art, and raised their families. Thanks to the dry conditions of the desert and the protective embrace from these canyons, much of their world remains preserved, a time capsule waiting to be explored. Why did these ancient people choose these canyons to settle and build a life for themselves? And what can we learn from it?
Good morning. I slept at the trailhead yesterday after a very, very long day of travel. But the adventure is just about to begin, so let's go. We set up our tent last night. I didn't notice any tracks, but it was pretty dark. And when I woke up this morning, there's tons of tracks around, like literally right around my tent, like 2 feet away from my tent wall. And now that we've started to descend into the canyon, we're trying to make our way there. There's a whole herd of deer that's been just moving around, and good start to the day. Pretty much instantaneously, the first thing that comes to mind in this new landscape is just the biology, the fauna, what do you call those? The trees, the plants, all of it is so vastly different than what I'm used to traveling through. And I'm excited to learn about the trees, the plants. But there's something very special in the desert here that's kind of super important to the health, I guess, of the soil and of this place, and it's called cryptobiotic soil. A friend here, Devin, knows way more about this, and let's find a patch and show it to you guys because it's kind of cool. Never seen this before.
From my understanding, it is like it's a living organism, and it takes a super long time to grow. And these are like, man, what we're standing next to, this is some seriously old soil, but it essentially helps with erosion. So like you get crazy winds that come through and it keeps the sand in place. It helps retain water and moisture content in the soil so that the plants can thrive. And yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. So it's kind of it's a no-no to just go like trampling through it.
If you do break the crust, it takes thousands of years to regrow, right?
Yeah, hundreds, thousands of years. Like it's pretty wild.
We are officially in what you call the wash of the canyon. If I'm not mistaken, it's just essentially the bottom of the canyon. So we finally dropped into it, and immediately as we came in, we have our first structure right up here coming up, and it's exactly what we came here for. So I'm pretty excited. Let's go check it out, see what it looks like.
Get a better vantage.
Look at this. I wonder why and how they used to do it like that. I guess the wood is to hold the stone structure in.
I mean, I would think so.
Yeah.
You'll see obviously the structure, but like spend time looking at the walls and down, and you'll see more. Like there's more to see. Like, people lived here. They've left a lot for us to see and explore, and it's just amazing.
A handprint. How insane is that? To most people, when they walk through here, they miss so much because they just don't know what to look for. And just at this small little site here with Devin's seen 3, 4, 5 things that I hadn't even noticed because I don't even know what to look for. One of the prime examples is that he just found some pottery. So let's go check that out. These are pottery. I believe this is what you would call a typical granary. This would be for, my understanding is these would be for food storage. And it's interesting how they use wood up here to support the weight of the structure up here so they can make entranceways and little windows like that.
Just have good water. Oh, I'm happy about that. A good sign of life. Compared to
We've just made it to another site with a dwelling and a couple of granaries around here, tucked away at the top of the canyon up here. It's kind of easy to understand why they would have picked this place. Just south facing, so you get sun exposure all day long. Perfect overhang, so you're protected by the element. You got perfect vision for safety purposes. You probably even, you have a good sense of the valley of the canyon for possible hunting. This is just beautiful. At the granary there at the back, and then just next to it, you got what I would think was the dwelling. So you've got one wall that's still standing, and then you've got another wall right in front of it. Probably that would come all the way around here. The way you can tell where the walls used to be, you can see them on the ground, but interestingly enough, if you look on the rocks themselves, you can see the black line there. That would be probably where the wall would attach to the top, and the black is all the soot from the campfires that would have been in there. And so you can see the clear defined line here of where that wall was. I'm surprised they were making fires right in their houses like that.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. It's like, obviously, this is like clearly a ton of fire that was over time, but like, there had to have been similar to the way a chimney works.
Correct. Yeah, that's why the blackened keeps going out all the way.
Like bring the smoke out and not be like filling their living space.
Another thing that is interesting to think about as well is you can see that you can imagine that all of this mortar or the clay, you can tell that this was kind of all put in and pushed into place by hand. And look at this perfect symmetrical window here. This is as close to a perfect rectangle as it gets. And that's where they would store their food. gonna be coming into a different canyon now. This canyon will join with another canyon, and we're gonna be exploring other ruins in the other canyon. So I'm very, very excited about this. A couple of things too on this trip. I'm trying out, as per usual, a handful of new pieces of gear. One of which is very, very unique. I've never seen anything like this, and it's my sleep system. Used it for the first time last night, and I was very, very impressed with it, because you guys know I much prefer sleeping in a hammock because of my lower back, because my arms get numb all the time when I sleep on the ground. I just can't find comfort. But I think, I mean, yesterday I was pretty tired from a crazy day of travel, but I did have an amazing night's sleep. So I'm excited to try it again. And I posted this on my Instagram as well. These Ombraz sunglasses with there's no, I guess, temple arm to them. It's just string. I've been using them at home, and now for the first time on a trip here, and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you guys later. Look at this place. I keep getting distracted, but this is just oh man, I am so grateful to be out here. So grateful to be able to live these experiences. This is amazing. It's fascinating that, you know, thousands of people used to live in these canyons. And when you think of the desert, you always think of, you know, this desolate place with no life. It's certainly kind of how I always saw the desert and the canyons. But as we're walking through the canyons, we saw an owl fly out. There's tons of deer tracks. We saw coyote tracks earlier. Saw some lizards, birds, beautiful flora. Just, this place is filled with life, in a place where you would think that there wouldn't be any. Once upon a time, thousands of humans used to live in the canyons, and this is where they lived. This is where they raised their families. This is where they grew their food. This is where they hunted. It's just such a surreal experience to be able to kind of have a small little taste of what it was like to be here and to live here and to be completely isolated in these canyons. Wow. We just pulled up to an old cowboy camp. The old fire pit. Just a few modern pieces of evidence of life here. We got some old tin here, some bottles, and different artifacts here. Not quite sure what they are. And maybe an old feeder, maybe for the horses. Who knows? An old tin. So we're just coming around the corner here right after the cowboy camp, and there's supposed to be more ruins of native ruins of the old tribes that used to live in the canyons here. Whenever you only have little windows like this, not actual doors, these were food storage granaries, not dwellings. Now we've got another structure here. Oh wow. No, this would have been a granary as well, because look, you can see all the corns on the cobs. Yeah, that's those looks to be corn on the cob essentially. Would have been what was in those granaries. We also have some pieces of pottery as well here. I wonder what they look like as a whole. Smooth on the inside, like almost like dragon eggs like on the outside. Got more granaries out here. And right above it, we almost missed it, but we've got handprints on the canyon walls here. Then just up here, tucked away, there's a little entrance that leads to the dwellings. This is prime property here with crazy views. It's not waterfront view, but it's canyon view. It's beautiful. Part of the canyon so far is by far the most beautiful part of the hike today. We are getting nice and deep, and there's some decent scrambling to be done to get down some of these big washes. That is a cool arch formation up there. Everything up here is just stunning. Just stunning. I'm so surprised by the amount of vegetation deep into the canyons like this. I said this trip wasn't going to be a slog. It's not the craziest slog I've done, but I was not expecting to do so much bushwhacking in the desert. It's going to be time to start looking for camp because it's already 4:13, 4:15, and well, it's going to get dark in an hour. And with those big walls all surrounding us, it's just going to get dark fast, regardless. So we just dropped our pack here, and it seems like maybe if we go up in elevation a little bit, just around kind of this bend of the canyon, we might be able to get some water, because now we're bone dry. All we need is to find a rocky pothole that would not have absorbed the water. There's this soil here and all the plants and vegetation has absorbed all the water, so we have nothing to filter down here. So we came up here and we found a puddle down there, but right where the water was, I looked over my shoulder and look what we found. There's two ruins here. We got one here, one there that's 2 stories, that one over there. That's beautiful, and just what a view in general. Wow. Just glorious, glorious water. Liquid gold. So we've got 2 liters here and 2 liters here. That should be plenty for the evening, and tomorrow we're not as concerned for water, so mission accomplished. Now we're gonna find camp and set up and rest. I'm ready to rest. Trying to get up high from the wash and find some flat ground. And not easy where we are, to be honest. Oh yeah. Long day.
Long day.
Long day.
Yum.
Just crawling into bed now. It's pretty early. 7:35. But it's been a long day. What a wonderful, wonderful day to be out here. What a treat. I feel very, very grateful to have this opportunity. This place is very unique and absolutely stunning. And I can't wait for tomorrow. So see you in the morning.
Good morning. Not a bad view to wake up to. Wow. Just a little guy.
We're all packed up and ready to go. It is quite a different scenery to wake up to what I'm used to be honest. It's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. There's a good sized rune down this canyon here that we came up to come sleep. Devin was really excited about. Apparently that's kind of one of the bigger runes, but the problem is it's 2 miles one way, 2 miles the other way. And then it rained all night and it's supposed to keep raining today. And as we're gonna be traveling back down canyon again, we have a big wash, like a big dry fall. The last thing we want to do is have to do that while it's raining, which is supposed to rain again starting noon, or while it's wet. So hopefully, you know, the weather holds up like this, the rock's dry so it's not slippery, so we can get down safely. Otherwise we're gonna have to backtrack and go through that jungle again, and it's not what we're super excited for. But in the meantime, yesterday, where we found our water, we also found the 2-story rune right back here in the bend of the canyon. So this is our first destination for this morning. It's interesting how much the rain is a hazard out here compared to back home, whether we're on canoe trips or even in the Northeast when we go backpacking. We never really overly think about it. Or quite frankly, it rains so often that it's just part of it. But here, it really does change the safety of the rocks because it gets slippery, the wash, like we can get floods, and then impassable section with big puddles of water. So it's interesting to see how rain is a big concern out here. Essentially, the runes are somewhere up here behind us. So we're gonna try to get up on the rocks here and see how it looks up there.
Really excited to see these. This one's unique.
Coming up to our first structure right here. Not sure if it was a granary or a dwelling, to be honest. This was definitely a wall here. At least it looks like it. This, once upon a time, may have connected all of this together. You can see some of the old wood structure here. And the only entrance we saw was that little hole. There would have been a beautiful wall here as well, all along the cliff here. What a beautiful place to set up if you're gonna live in the canyons. You're right above everything here. You've got a crazy vantage point once again. South facing, so tons of sunlight. I'm assuming all the sun would help, again, like with the heat on the rocks and this beautiful plateau leading to probably one of the most impressive dwellings we're gonna see ever here. And I am just fascinated at how geometric and square things are. I'm not sure what kind of tools they used or techniques they used to make such straight lines, but these are phenomenal. Wood headers as well up here, just to support everything that's being put on so it doesn't collapse. We've got some handprints, just small handprints on the wall. Handprints have a way to, I don't know, a very intimate way to connect us with the people that were here before. That is a human hand right there. From like, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 years ago. These are almost perfect squares, just like straight lines, straight 90 degrees, 90-degree angles.
Respectful, just like.
We're coming up to probably one of the most impressive ruins we may see our time out here. It's known as the two-story ruin, I think. People named it like that because it is a really well intact two-story dwelling. We've got all these beautiful pieces of artifacts here and like the clay that they used, and I'm not exactly sure if they're fingerprints or if they're, you know, they were holding. This looks like pretty amazing how this fits perfectly in there. Pottery as well. This looks like a rock, actually. Pieces of evidence of grains, corn on the cob here, leading right into this beautiful, beautiful two-story dwelling. Just amazing. I'm also very intrigued with this here. There seems to be some kind of like cordage that they used to hold something up there. It's very much part of the clay and part of the structure here. Let's take a peek with the camera inside and get a sense of the size of this place. Oh, immediately you can tell there's an exit door. So probably was leading to more structures, maybe. The floor joists, all charred up from the campfires in here to stay nice and warm. And then up here, that's the stairwell of some sort to get on to the second floor. Another very cool sign of life is this grinding stone here. You can tell they take the corn on the cob and they would use it to grind it. You can see all the work done in it. That is amazing. being up here also and just looking down into the valley of the canyon, looking down in the canyon. They're not valleys, they're canyons here. It kind of makes sense to me why you would set up here. Like, this is obviously a very fertile ground down there. And if you're gonna spend time building dwellings like this and stick around, obviously they didn't build these shelters just to stay a couple of nights. This was obviously where they lived and thrived. If you look at how green this place is, I bet you this was where they would, grow all their food, their corn and all that kind of stuff. And you would have a perfect vantage point of looking at all of this beautiful, fertile ground where you're, growing your food, considering how much trees are down here and how jungly it is. I bet you this ground is fertile enough to, especially to grow corn and squashes and stuff like that, which is pretty typical for, Native Americans to grow beans, corn, squash, the three sisters, right? And yet high enough that's not completely in the wash of the canyon, so your crop isn't getting destroyed by the heavy rains all the time. So we've got some rock art here. All this fainted rock art here of some sort. Pictograph. That's what I was looking for earlier. Just a beautiful piece of pottery here. And Devin was just mentioning, if you look in this, underneath the rocks here, there's all sorts of mineral and looks like the rock is wet here. So this could have been, or this is, some kind of a...
That just dripped right there.
Yeah, some kind of a spring, I guess, that's permeating through the rock. And maybe they would use pottery to capture the rain or capture the water. Who knows? I'm not sure what the rest of the trip's gonna bring, but this site here for me was, it's gonna be hard to match in my opinion, because this just made the trip for me hard. I mean, everything here is amazing, but to be able to come and explore these old ruins and especially a 2-story dwelling like this, and just having the sense of this place. Amazing. And then every day they woke up to this gorgeous view. Another thing that just keeps popping into my head is it's interesting to try to envision like how many people lived in this community here. Was it just a family that did this? Was it like 10, 20, 30 people? And how many people fit in all these places? You compare this to the lifestyle that we live today, and I just keep thinking, if these folks were to meet, like, let's say they were here 1,000 years ago and they were to time travel 5,000 years before them, you would think people live pretty similar lives, right? They would live in small houses, small dwellings, maybe not this exact kind of architecture, but I don't think it would be that much of a shock for them to see how people lived 5,000 years before them. But if they could have time traveled 1,000 years ahead, post-industrial revolution, like, it would just be so alien to them, just like it is for us to come here to think that this is how people lived. We come here and we camp and for a night or two in the canyons, and we kind of feel like we get a sense of their life, but it's just romantic thinking. It's really not how this was. This would have been a tough life to live out here 365 days a year. Just insane. Dude, thank you. How amazing is this place? This is so humbling to come here and
Incredible.
To just try to be here, to know that people were here.
I think what makes it fun is like we're backpacking, but we're like on a history trip.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like,
well,
you have to backpack to get in here, but we're here to like learn, and it's not just like, oh, this is a cool place. Like, this is amazing.
Look at this beautiful rock art. Got what looks to be someone or a person, and then there's something here as well, drawn in here. There's a few of these figures here as well. There's this one, and there's two more. There's two more right here. Just amazing. There seems to be another one here as well. That's where we were, right up there on that shelf. So far today, and yesterday, all we've done is go down. So now we got to essentially gain back all the elevation we lost along the way. It's 12 o'clock and it's a perfect time for lunch. So we're just looking for a little bit of sun and a beautiful place to stop.
Watermelon. Would you like some?
Yeah, why not? Oh, good sir. It's good to be in the sun because walking in the wash all the time is a lot more damp than you would think. So to be out in the sun is nice. At the beginning of the video, I told you there's a couple of pieces of gear I'm testing out, and I was excited to share with you. And one of those pieces of gear was these Ombraz sunglasses, and I've never seen sunglasses like this before, and I wasn't sure about them when I got them, but I've been using them at home and on this whole trip, and when I go out for my runs and when I train outside. Essentially for the past month I've been using them all the time, and I've actually really been enjoying them. Essentially what makes these sunglasses different is they don't have any temple arms, so they're all being held by rope. That does a couple of things that's really interesting. First of all, they store into this really neat little package like this, and because there's no arm, the likelihood of you breaking them when you throw them in your pack is really low. I've been carrying this in my hip belt pocket the entire time. You can put them in the brain of your pack, and they're, you could still break them, but they're very sturdy and they lay really flat. I really like that. And you pull them out like this, and this is really the only negative side of these sunglasses, to be honest, is the whole usability, or the experience of putting them on and taking them off is annoying. You're used to usually just whip them out, your sunglasses, put them in your face, and it's easy. For this, you really have to take two hands. You gotta take your hat off. You gotta take the time to set them up. But once they're in, and you can adjust them really well here at the back, once they're there, they are absolutely amazing. They're fully polarized here. I know they make them also for prescription if you are in need of prescription. And they're just so amazing because they hold so well in your face, for running, for jumping, for backpacking. When I'm going to be out whitewater canoeing, I'm not afraid at all of losing them. They really hold well, and I'm completely sold. So if you're interested, check them out. I'll leave the link in the description below, as per usual with all the gear. So now that we're done eating lunch, we're going to be heading up this canyon here. There's supposed to be some rock art ahead. We were just having lunch, and little did we know, just behind us right here, had some beautiful rock art. I think it's referred to as the bird panel. Wow. Look at this place. This is gorgeous. This here, this cloud, is what we're hoping doesn't fall on us. Hopefully it's moving away. We have sun behind us, but it is starting to cover up pretty fast too back there, so let's hope we make it through that dry fall first. We're just coming around the bend here to the dry fall, and it is an impressive feature. Holy cow. Look at this. I don't know how tall this is, but Devin says at his report it was 10 meters, so 30 feet. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. Anyways, there's nowhere here to climb or here, but it looks like if we come around here, we could scramble our way through this boulder field to the shelf back here and just make our way up here at the very top. And we'll end up here essentially at the top here, and then we'll drop back in after from up there. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's wide enough, but, you know.
Yeah,
it's a stick to the wall. Let's do or die now.
That makes you feel alive a little bit.
That's it, man.
nice look. That's easily one of the more...
Timing of this couldn't have been better. Now it's full on raining and hailing a little bit, but we made it through a really technical spot, so now we're gonna try to find some cover just to see if we can wait it out a little bit. We're just taking cover here underneath this juniper tree just to see if the rain's gonna go by or slow down a little bit. There seems to be a little bit of sun trying to poke out right above the canyon wall here, so. It's pretty crazy how little it's raining really, and how fast the river in the canyon just starts running. You can see the water pouring off over the walls everywhere, and that goes to show why rain is such a hazard out here, because you can really easily be caught in a wash. All the the sandstone around, just there's no absorption of water at all, so it just lands across the entire land and it just goes right to the canyons. really fun. Yo, it echoes so hard in here. Whoa. That was as soon as I saw the lightning, I started to count four.
Get that?
Yeah. 4 seconds. We're so exposed here on those rocks. Wow, we're gonna have to keep a close eye to that. That scared me. This is not ideal to be this exposed. Yeah, hail is certainly a sign of thunderstorm though. See where this goes. It's a lot clearer ahead and the wind is blowing in our face. Oh shit, dude. Whoa. Yeah. So that was a second of that. Well, that was an interesting couple of hours in the pouring rain out here, and the temperature dropped quite a bit. So since we were pretty wet anyways, we figured the best thing to do is just to keep on hiking and maintain our core temperature as high as possible so we don't freeze. It's 44 degrees. Now we're gonna hike on, and hopefully now that the rain is off, our body heat can just dry ourselves up a little bit before we get to camp. But boy, did we luck out on our timing. The fact that we didn't go to the first rune and added 4 miles to our day, that allowed us to get through the dry fall when it was dry and not wet. So oh yeah, oh yeah, this is where it's happening. For dinner tonight, we're going with a trusty peak refuel. Biscuit, sausage, and gravy. Only took, what was it? 10 ounces of water, 10 minutes to rehydrate, and it has 1,100 calories in this package. It's a little soupy. I think I put too much water. Or is it supposed to be?
That's the gravy.
Oh, that's the gravy. Cheers. Is the biscuit supposed to be crunchy?
Did you break it up?
No.
Oh.
Oh, that's why there's not much water. Wait. Oh well. It's good though.
Yeah.
Here is the sleep system here from Zenbivy. This is their ultralight system for backpacking. This is a premium high quality product. This also comes in at a pretty hefty price for a sleep system. There are definitely way cheaper sleep system on the market. This sleep system would be for your die-hard camping fans who just love to go out there and is trying to find the most comfortable way to sleep out in the backcountry. This is essentially a 1, 2, 3, 4-piece sleep system. So there's a really good sleeping pad that's like R4.5. This sleeping pad is a quilted pattern sleeping pad. Those are by far my favorite kind of sleeping pad in terms of the pattern for the baffles. This sleeping pad is the most comfortable sleeping pad I've ever used on the ground. I've only had my arms go numb once a night on both those nights, so for me that's a huge win. There's a sheet that you kind of fit that's a sleeve that fits onto your sleeping pad. It comes with these sides here that allows for your quilt to come all the way in like this, and you can see there's 2 baffles still below the attachment point. Everything is color coded. They're easy to put on. What this does is that it avoids all possible draft to be able to come in. The number one complaint people have using a quilt system instead of a full sleeping bag where you're fully wrapped is that you often get a breeze or a draft coming in, and that's really what cools you off in the night. With this, no draft whatsoever. The hood here, I got the one that's insulated with down as well. All of this down for the quilt and everything, it's 900 down fill power. I didn't expect to use it. I thought I'd sleep right on top of it, but instead of wearing a toque, I really enjoyed just being able to put my head underneath here and kind of adjust it just so that my nose sticks out. And it's by far the most comfortable mummy style hood that I've ever used. It just allows you to kind of to set it up perfectly and to vent easily from your head. Another huge win for this sleep system is the pillow system. The pillow is made of a regular bladder on the inside, regular bladder, but it also has a top soft down pillow that just kind of gives you such a good thickness. For me as a side sleeper, what's really important is I need a really thick pillow because of the size of my shoulders, and the thickness of this pillow and having the down on top giving me the perfect height that I need. And it's got little hooks again here that attaches in the hood here that just prevents your pillow from moving around. And lastly, of course, this really nice quilt that allows you again to either make a closed foot box at the bottom here or to open it up depending on the temperature, how much you want to vent it. This system, it allows you to have a really closed in setup where the wind doesn't come in and you're nice and cozy, yet you have a lot of room because this is a 25-inch pad. But if you're someone that is serious about camping, goes out often, this is going to be, I think, more than likely the sleep system that I'll be reaching for most of the time when I'm sleeping on the ground. Overall, just a huge success on this. I was very excited to show this to you guys because I know that for so many people, the sleeping aspect of camping is what prevents them from going out. I absolutely loved it. Sun's above the horizon. We're about 2.5 miles away from the car. There's still some beautiful views to be seen. Let's get packing. Let's go. We're coming to the end of the trip here. Have about half a mile to a mile to walk to the car. Throughout this whole walk this morning, I've been just taking the time to reflect on this amazing backpacking trip I've been on. First thing first, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Devin. Devin, thank you so much for bringing me here. Thank you so much for making me discover your backyard. You have an absolute epic backyard. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you don't know it, Devin's another YouTuber. He does great content on gear, education stuff,
and just a really good dude, down to earth. So make sure to check out his channel. I'll leave the links in the description below. Also, if you're here this far into the video, you know it, you're part of the true fan club. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for being a part of the adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. This was one of the most epic trip I've ever done, with tons of amazing things. Everything out here is so different than what I'm used to. The geology, the rocks, the vegetation, the canyons, the native ruins. What an epic trip, and I'm very grateful. Also, one thing I've been meaning to mention for many videos, but I keep forgetting. If you didn't know, I also have a newsletter. I'll leave the link in the description below. It's always in the description, but if ever you want to just kind of stay in touch with me, I don't send a ton of emails. Honestly, what it ends up being is I send an email out when I publish a video. I like to write a little bit of a story with that in there. Just a neat way for me to kind of give you guys a little bit more and connect with you, or if ever there's any promotional stuff as well. If you want to join it, please make sure to check it out. Hopefully it'll bring you some value. It'll be a great way for us to stay in touch and connect. And lastly, also all the gear I've shared, and once again, the link is in the description below. Just know that all those links are affiliate links, meaning if ever you click on them and you buy something, I do get a commission off of it. So it is a great way to support what I do. It doesn't cost you anything else, but I do get a small commission off of it. So if you want to encourage me, that's a great way to do that. And that's it. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. See you on the next video. Peace.